everyone, Ashley May and Mike Beer here with the daily racing form this Saturday out at Santa Anita. They have 11 races, plenty of stakes action. In the nightcap, race 11 is the Cal Cup Oaks, a mile on the turf course for 3-year-old fillies, and a really big field here. 12 horses entered into this spot. And again, with these sorts of Cal Cup races, you get the 3-year-olds here. We have the boys earlier in the card. You see a little bit of everything. Horses coming out of turf races, coming out of dirt races. But overall, I felt like this was probably one of the best wagering opportunities on the card.
Yeah, I agree. It feels like a really competitive race, and you can make cases for a lot of different horses. You mentioned this surface maybe being the key to this whole thing, Ashley. I mean, if nothing else, you have the 1 to 5, the 11 and the 12. They're horses who I think are already sort of established. We already know they can handle turf, and they're major players in here. But there are horses in here who are really good on dirt, and if they can transfer their form over, this race becomes wide open.
We'll take a look at the Timeform US pace projections here for the Cal Cup Oaks. And a fast pace is projected with the outside runner, the 12, take another card, showing some early foot, and maybe the 3, We the Hobby, and the 4, Musical Number. And I think this is pretty spot on. I'm not convinced necessarily that the 12 needs to make the lead or will make the lead, but I think they'll be forward from that outside draw.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a big field, and they're lightly raced horses, so there's certainly always the chance the pace gets fast. I thought the pace was pretty hard to decipher, mostly because of all the horses switching surfaces in here. Maybe the 12 gets out of the gate this time. She did not break well in her debut sprinting, but she was really impressive, at least I thought, winning that race. If you told me actually right now you can have one of these horses going forward of the 12, I would take the 12. I think she might be the most talented, but she's got a lot to overcome yet.
And do know that the late pace flag is attached to the 11, Hey Jesse. We'll kick things off here with the number 1, Tequila and Therapy, and we'll jump right to a replay from last time out at Low Sal. It's the Soviet Problems going a mile, and she's going to have the lead late here, Mike, but she's also going to surrender, and who's going to go by her? Hey Jesse, and In the Air Tonight, and just felt like, I don't know, I was a little disappointed with her in this race.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I thought she ran. I do like the performance that the winner puts in here. I'll say that for openers. I thought Tequila and Therapy ran well in here. I thought she ran well when she won 2 starts back, 0-7. She's clearly good on dirt. They've run her on turf. I think she's fine on that surface. She was never going to win the Surfer Girl, but I thought her maiden win was a really good performance. I don't know. She's very versatile. She's got a great post here. She doesn't need the lead if that pace projector's right and the pace is fast. I don't think it's going to affect her at all. I mean, I don't even remember now. I might not have her in my top 4 picks. I think she can win here.
The 2, Sunset Grazing, is a 2-time winner in her career. She's won her last 2. Now, they've both been long on the dirt, and the fractions in both of them, Mike, I mean, they've been pedestrian-like. To see one of them go 49 and 2 to the half, and most recently 50 to the half. I just don't know how she, A, handles the turf here, and then I guess B, what sort of trip she's going to get.
Yeah, I'm worried about that too. And you have to worry about whether she classes up ultimately as well. You're right. I mean, even especially the most recent win there, the stakes win, they just let her walk on the lead to control the pace. And she was able to hold on there. She's got a little turf pedigree. And so if you're a believer in the 2 dirt wins and you know that she can handle the distance and you feel like she's going to handle this surface switch, I guess have at it. I didn't really like her that much.
3, We the Hobby. She's actually a maiden in this field. 4 starts under her belt. Last time out, she was second and was part of that pace scenario last time out, going 6 furlongs on the turf. Little bit of a tough sell. A couple of these horses in here have beaten her before. Most recently, Take Another Card, and then on debut, Musical Number, although that was on a different surface. I have to think sort of what the Timeform US pace projections showed is probably what's going to happen. She's going to be forward from here, but I just don't know in terms of going this distance, going around 2 turns, if she'll still be there when the wire comes up.
Yeah, she does seem like she's likely to be part of this pace, but there are a lot of concerns here, not only as a maiden, but stretching out in a pace that could be fast. And then, you just go back. She took a little pressure on the lead last time, actually, but you go back and watch the replay. I think we'll show the stretch run a little bit later, but Take Another Card just runs her right over in the stretch.
The 4, Musical Number, Daughter of Uptown Rhythm, who I think is a little intriguing. I'll be honest, I don't think she's anywhere in my top 4, but you look at her first 2 starts, she was able to win, and then recently she stretched out. I think she was probably further back than she preferred to be. She still tried to make an effort late, and I think probably looking at those first 2 performances, combined with maybe some sneaky turf pedigree, she could be a nice price in here.
Yeah, I agree with all that stuff. I know they debuted her for a tag. I really liked that performance she put in that day. I think it showed that she could really run. She came right back and won again in a tougher race. Man, I mean, I think she was maybe so far back in the Soviet problem last time because she did get bumped at the start. And
Mhm.
then she was just super wide all the way around the track. I mean, her rider did not try to save any ground in there. She still made a run at it and sort of flattened out late. But I thought that was sort of an underrated performance. And if you've already pointed out, I don't know about the sire. I don't know how this horse is even standing anywhere based on what he did on the track. But there's a lot of turf on the bottom of this pedigree.
Yeah, very sneaky on the turf side of it for the mare logical single. And I think the other thing that I found really intriguing is Kazushi Kimura is going to climb aboard. I think his sort of riding style might really work well from her based on what we've seen so far. To her outside's the number 5, Chili Philly. That's one of the Tim Yock Teen Barn. I do think she benefits from getting back on the grass. I thought her grass effort two back when she was able to graduate was quite nice. I liked the trip that she got where she was sitting a couple lengths off the pace. But last time out, she faced these horses. She didn't fare that well. I don't know what to do with her. I mean, I think she's the type of horse that could easily improve, or maybe we see something similar because she's facing a lot of the same horses.
Yeah, I feel like if you like her, it's just because you feel like she's not a dirt horse and
Mhm.
she's just better on the grass. And we'll see if that ultimately proves to be true. I don't even know if that's the right way to look at her actually, because she's run twice on turf. One of them, the turf debut, she did zero running in that race, but she was obviously a little bit better when she broke her maiden.
We move to the number 6, Big Soiree here, who has yet to try the turf in her career. Last time out there, she was third behind Sunset Grazing. And I guess from a distance perspective, I like that the blinkers are going on. I think last time out when she tried 2 turns, it was just a slow pace. We know how Sunset Grazing was able to win that. It was in front end fashion. So maybe there's upside with her going long for a second time. There's going to be more pace in here. She should be closer. I just don't know with even that being considered if she's got enough going on for her to handle the turf.
Yeah, she's a tough call in that regard. She's just based on what she's done so far, she's not fast enough to win here. I would say if you're trying to dress her up at a big price, I'll admit I did try to dress her up at a big price because there's a lot of turf on the dam side of this pedigree. She's got a lot of pedigree to handle the surface switch, and then just going back to that most recent start, if there's a tougher trip than sitting wide and last behind a slow pace, I don't know what it is. This horse had no chance last time.
You have to figure if you're trying to dress her up, you should get a very good price on her in this spot. The number 7, Less is More, Redham Racing, Doug O'Neill teaming up here. Another maiden in the field. We'll actually take a look at that most recent effort, though, because it was back in November at Del Mar. The winner, Hey Jessie, is a horse that she's going to have to face again here in the Cal Cup Oaks. But she's the pace setter, first time going 2 turns. I thought it was a decent performance. I mean, she tries everything to hang in here till the final stages, and she comes up a half a length short, but to me, probably her best performance to date by far.
Yeah, nothing wrong with this performance. It was certainly a move in the right direction. The horse that ultimately ran her down, of course, is back in here and I think is a major, major contender. But this horse is going to have to run better than that against this field. And then again, she's another horse that I guess you just have to worry about the pace, right, Ashley? I mean, because she's been forward in her races, and if this
Mhm.
pace is fast, it works against her.
The number 8 in the air tonight. This is a horse that exits the Soviet problems. We showed that earlier, was second behind Hey Jessie. She's been pretty consistent in my kind of opinion here. She's really done nothing wrong. Her one poor performance was going long in a grade 2 at Santa Anita. Look who was in there, Tenma Nooney and non-compliant. Different ball game than she'll face here. And I think looking at her last two, not necessarily worried about the distance, and on at least on the mirror side of things, there's some turf pedigree to suggest that she could handle the surface quite well.
It'll be interesting to see if she does handle turf. Because to me, she was one of the horses, so I just feel like she's going to have to be better on the grass. That her last two starts on dirt, they're fine. I just personally
Mhm.
didn't see the excuses for her, actually, particularly in the Soviet problem. I thought that trip really worked out for her, and she was only second best.
The number 9, Pavel is appealing. Another one in the field for Doug O'Neill. Was able to win on debut, stretched this one out. I thought the performance was okay. Had to face a slew of horses that this one faces again. And then last time out, a really nice win for this one. Just looked kind of cruising and comfortable to the wire.
Yeah, I know. I like that too. I mean, to me, those are always the toughest ones to judge. Just dropping out of a stakes race and then cutting back from 7 to 5.5. I mean, she was impressive winning, but I don't know what it all means for her stretching out now and switching to turf. I don't know if did you have a different opinion? I didn't. I looked through her pedigree. I did not see a lot of grass.
Yeah, not a ton. I mean, I've seen Doug though in the past, so he obviously knows the Pavels
Yeah.
really well, and he's had success moving them. I don't think it necessarily screams grass, but I felt like that at least in terms of the field itself. A lot of them, like, have glimpses of turf pedigree or maybe things that suggest they're gonna take it, but a lot of them don't have, anywhere near to a high selling point where I'm like, "Oh, they're gonna just come to life on the grass." So, kind of in the same boat with you here with the number 9, Pavel is appealing. The 10, Grateful My Love. A maiden in the field. She's tried the dirt strictly to this point in her career. She's stretched out in each of those starts. I'm curious to get your thoughts on her. I feel like her last two, she is rolling late and shows ability, and now she's going to have to try something new for the first time.
Yeah, yeah, another one switching surfaces, so you have that to deal with. I guess she's got a little bit of pedigree to me. She's not really bred to be better on turf. I don't know if it matters. I like all three of her races. Actually, I know she's a maiden on the way to this. I think she's run well in every one of those races. I did not like the trip that she got last time when she lost at a short price in there. I think she was badly compromised by the trip she got in that race. I didn't want to necessarily take her at a short price. Pratt's taken over here. It feels like she always gets bet, so she'll probably take money now as she switches service. And I don't want a short price on her, but I think she's got a lot of talent.
And I'll just throw it out there for numbers. I'm a stats girl. Obviously, Michael McCarthy's having a great meet. When teaming up with Flavien Prat, they've been very productive. The one stat that stuck out to me, though, first time turf, not great numbers, but maybe with sort of the ability that she's shown in the troubled trips, she can add another, I guess, win to that number there for first time turf runners. The 11, Hey Jessie, up next, a horse that's been able to win her last two. I guess in terms of resume to this point, to me, she has the best resume. She's been able to race. She has multiple wins, been able to do it on turf and dirt. Her number was a little bit better on the dirt, but I also just wonder with her sort of adjustability and the fact that she can close from off of it. I actually think she had the LP flag for this race. She could also be closer to it, especially on the grass. We saw that 2 starts back, and I think that could play really well for her here.
Yeah, I agree with all that stuff. I mean, I think she's a major player in here. I really liked. We watched the stretch run of the Soviet problem earlier. I really liked the finish that she put in there to close that race down when she won on turf 2 starts back. That was a really slow pace. We saw that replay too. Less is more had a big lead on her, and she still came and
Right.
closed her down. She's getting better with every start. I have no problem with them coming back to turf with her. And here she's going to need a trip from the outside post, but in some ways, I thought she was one of the horses to beat.
Then the other horse maybe going to take a lot of attention is the 12, Take Another Card. We're going to look at her most recent and only start under her belt, but we'll start with the break because this is important. You can see her on the inside, and well, she's last at that point. I mean, she does not break well here at all. And then Frankie Dettori's aboard, and you can just see her. She was picking up momentum, and then here as we angle to the stretch run, she's on the outside. She has to face We the Hobby in here, who ends up being second. She showed a lot of ability here and had a really nice turn of foot.
Yeah, this is a really impressive debut. Just green from start to finish, but overcame it all with sheer ability. Got herself into position, got clear in the stretch, ran right by these horses, and kept going through the wire. She's got a lot working against her here, right? Stretching out. She's got to do it from the outside post. She's from maiden up into a stakes race here. You know, who knows if it all conspires to be too much? But again, I think she's the most talented horse in the field. We'll see if it works out for her.
I think so too. And I think from a perspective of I don't necessarily love the post, but she has enough early foot. I know she didn't show it there, but you saw the move that she made to be more forward. You just wonder if on the stretch out, if she can be forward from the get go, she breaks well, that she can just sort of idle and just stay kind of steady throughout and then make that late run because she does have that turn of foot. So really interesting betting bet here, a field of 12 in the Cal Cup Oaks. And it is top pick time. And I thought this was, again, one of the best betting races on the card. And we use some of the same horses, but we're in different directions in terms of the top spot. You go to the 4 musical number, who's going to try the turf for the first time.
Just wanted to try to get a price in there. Actually, I feel like the 11 and the 12 are the two sort of, I just want to say, like, right horses for whatever that means. And I think they're both going to be really tough in here. But maybe with them drawn outside, there's sort of an opportunity to get a better price in there. I'm sort of taken with the races that musical numbers run so far and the pedigree that she has for the surface switch.
You mentioned the 11, 12, probably the horses to beat. They are my top 2 in here. I just think, Hey Jessie, what she's been able to do, sort of having a little bit of adaptability where she can sit or close from further off. I think it could benefit her here. I guess my price, or what I think could be a price, is probably 8 in the air tonight. I know you mentioned you're not in love with her last two, and I get that. I just wonder if the turf can wake her up. And I think her performances have been good enough, especially that most recent try at the 2-turn distance. So great betting event here. 4, 11, 12, 6 for Mike, 11, 12, 8, 10 for me. It's the nightcap this Saturday at Santa Anita, a mile on the turf. It's the Cal Cup Oaks. Good luck.